so much pressure, blood pressure bust pipes. But not this PVC because the living was a light. Come to me, get this Stevian site, get this real SBC. We call it get right. 1099 OID set you free, along with your TRIBE. The feds wanna vet you, but they can't catch because it's SBC from the 100 Kings. Release the pressure.
I wanted you to be mine, in the daytime as well as the night.
SBC 24 hours.
But you needed to hide me.
Yeah, from the feds.
And that just don't sit right. I wasn't devastated. I guess I get it. So much pressure to appear just like them. Pretty and cosmetic, elementary alphabetic. So much pressure to appear just like them. Just like them.
You wanna be like on TV with
just
makeup,
like them.
lipstick and all that.
So much pressure to appear just like them.
Like the tribes, Cherokee,
Just like
Washington.
them.
Yeah,
Just like
they want you to be just like them.
so much pressure to appear just
Just to
like
feel like
them.
them. You don't gotta be like them.
You chased me for a couple years
SBC,
and
be
a
free.
couple months till I said yes to lunch. Love moves swiftly. We graduated. And intense split shoulders. No need to fake it. I wasn't devastated. I guess I get it.
You'll get it.
So much pressure to appear just like them.
Feel like them.
I find it so pathetic. I know you gon' regret it. So much pressure to appear just like them.
Elementary alphabetic 1099 A with a 1099 B and C. Don't forget about the K. Okay, K. Now that you straight, corporate crackheads pathetic, try to jack you for your estate. But here comes the king who made you his queen, turned you from a corpse into a living being with the 7-step process. No one can test you, no multiple choice for your voice. You're standing on your square over there with no pressure.
Outside my bedroom door, honey got the moon for me, craving all that tasty love. Now you got plenty money,
No need to be
plenty
like them. I
fame.
try to be like them.
I know you're up there smiling all the
Be
while.
yourself so you can free yourself.
I'm thinking my name.
Yeah. King Stevian.
Ooh, I guess I wasn't devastated. I guess I get it. So much pressure to appear just like them. I find it so pathetic. I know you gon' regret it. So much pressure to appear just like them. 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 Just so much pressure to appear just like them. Just like them. Just like them. So much pressure.
Kings and queens, clash your swords. Yeah. You kings and queens already know.
100 kings
We
and
got
100 queens.
Show 'em. Hey, all right. Coming in to give y'all a form. I guess I'm gonna have to start calling these things the misleading forms, or the forms that are used to mislead. you. Okay, and there's a lot I went over already. What people telling you to use, and you know, the one that I thought was the color of law, but never really looked at it in a sense. It's only for citizens. Okay, so when you're dealing with the color of law form, it's only for citizens. And then there's another form I had talked about. There's a bunch of them I had talked about, and I might have to put a playlist together and let y'all watch those. But this one's added to the list right here, the 843 form. Let me blow this up. Let's blow this thing up for y'all. All right, so I've been having different kings and queens come to me for assistance on some things, and I can't wait to get to that other form, but I am, matter of fact, me. Right here. Yeah, I got it right here with the 1041. When a couple of the kings and queens was in this other group, not going to say their name, and they were being misled with the 1099 OID, they had them fill out the 8960 form. Okay? All right? So I'm going to do a video on the 8960 form for y'all, to show y'all how this thing is supposed to go. Yeah. But I'm going to start with this 843 form. Okay? I know y'all are really itching, because I'm itching to actually get to that 8960. Because it's a shame how many of you are being misled, and y'all are getting frivolous filings, and here's a lot of y'all coming. And I say it all the time. You're going to get a tax refund if the IRS let it slip through the crack. They don't, and they got a article online that clearly says that they do not check every tax return. So if Joe Blow had a frivolous filing, and then Nene Baby didn't get a frivolous filing and got a big fat old check, and then Tiny Tim got one too, and Jack Rat got one. Jack Rat, because he's holding those dollar bills after he cashed that check, holding them racks. But anyway, that doesn't mean that all of y'all stuff is done right. Okay? It means it's done wrong. Okay? 1 out of 4, or somebody changed something that they did not supposed to change. Okay, this is the problem with a lot of you that are listening. Someone shows you something one way, y'all do it another way. Y'all send it to the wrong places, and you have your ass handed to you. Because you're going to have somebody in the office, it's going to come across their desk. And then what's going to wind up happening is they might be in a bad mood. They might look at you, look up your history. See, oh, this is a regular old 9-to-5 Wendy's worker. They're trying to get the bag. Okay? We're going to stop that. That's the mentality. And some of them go by the book. If your status ain't corrected, they're going to get you. If you don't do what you're supposed to do with this form, the 843, and the things that come before it and with it, you're going to get that. Like I was talking to this queen, and she told me she did this form. I've been seeing this form so much, and so many people say they filled this out, and I've been wanting to do this. So here I am to give you what you need. First thing first, this doesn't mean you go file a return after hearing this video. That's for y'all and talking to y'all who sit up here and want to chase behind the fiat. The one queen told me, and I noticed from some others that did the same thing. They turned around and used their with it on one of the forms, right? let me tell y'all this about the WIFID or any trust. Y'all all know that I'm the only one been talking about this dang WIFID for the longest. Told everybody how to fill it out, and everybody jump from this group, go to another group, they pass it down, get your WIFID. Don't y'all know the WIFID is a trust? It's an investment trust. Widely held, fixed investment trust. But if it's a trust, let me give you an example. If the United States government is over your estate, you got an administrator, which is the Vital Statistics Administration, okay? The head, whoever was over Vital Statistics, right? They're the administrator. They have a job to administrate and get whatever comes to them and give, and of course take their trustee fees out, their executive fees out, and then pass the rest to you as a beneficiary. If you're not getting that, getting anything as a beneficiary from Vital Statistics or the Secretary of State, you need to go in and fire them. Now, if you want to know how to fire them and start off with Social Security and the state, correcting your status with all of them, you need to get in the university. You need to get with me. Send me a text after 6 p.m. Let me know that you want to get an interview before you try to join this university. Okay? So that way you can start the status correction. When I say status correction, I don't mean the type of status correction that will get you your, I don't want to use that word, but aboriginism back, or put you back as a native on the land. No, this is just your status, meaning your corporate status of how being supposed to be with someone taking over your estate, okay? Someone getting your beneficiaries in line and getting to them what's supposed to be delivered to them, okay? Removing those corporate entities who's not doing their job. And so now there's a status change where now if it's you or your sons and daughters or grandbabies, now they are true beneficiaries. So when I say status correction with the IRS, this is what I'm talking about. You're firing all those others. You're getting rid of all those other power of attorneys, those other Form 56s. Go watch my video called Pre-Step 1, okay, and Pre-Step 2, Form 56, 2848, and type in the words King Stevian. Do not try to move ahead without the barcode, because that barcode is so relevant to your status, not just as the trustee and the beneficiaries, but also going into being a native of the land. You might say, well, King, you just said that this has nothing to do. It does and it don't. Okay? The majority of it is for the corporate thing, but then the king or the queen, which you are in the private, in the foreign, okay, as your grandbabies, sons, and daughters are. As long as they don't have to go to no regular school, public school, and you're teaching them on your own land, y'all dealing with gold and silver, they're receiving the benefits, not no fiat, credits. Then you change that into the gold and silver, melt that down, put your face on it, your mama's face, your granddaddy's face, whoever's face on that coin that you're going to make. I suggest y'all start finding some coin makers. Okay? The status, okay, is just that. For you to be free. Not being taxed. Okay? So I want to say all this before I get into this form. Because you are a native coming to work for a corporate structure or in a corporate structure, you're still working for the corporate structure, whatever they established. And what you're doing is bartering your labor, 1099B. I hope y'all hear me. 1099B is your bartering. Okay? Let me go over it because I'm really gonna have to show y'all exactly what y'all supposed to be doing. Okay? So let me go to Google. Go to Google, and we're gonna go to 1099B. Okay. Now I'm gonna read this, and this plays in part with the 8960. Okay. But also plays part when you are putting your time and energy into a 9-to-5 job, no matter if you're McDonald's, Walmart, at the Ford Motor Company, doesn't matter. It says a Form 1099-B is an IRS tax document from your broker reporting proceeds from sales of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, comma, and, watch this, barter exchanges. Okay? Make sure y'all go read 26 U.S.C. 1441. Excuse me, 1445, excuse me. And 1446. Right? And I said that because anytime you are the transferor of your labor, goods, or services, and you have an invoice that you're supposed to send to the job at the end of the year. That's why they're sending you the W-2. I'm giving y'all a tax class right now. At the sound of my voice, every last one of y'all, know y'all's worth. Don't go by that W-2. Whatever you got paid at the end of the year on that W-2, if they say you made $100,000, that is the U.S. dollar. And what did I tell y'all in the last video? If y'all did not go watch the last video I made, and I suggest y'all go watch that. Let me go pull up over here on YouTube, because some of y'all are slipping. And when y'all miss these goddamn videos, don't come to me. Come on, oh no, I ain't seen that, King. And it get buried in the goddamn pile, in the rubble. Okay? Let's go over. That's not the one I want to watch. I want to watch. It is called Is Your Asset to Be Delivered? Silver prices up. Hashtag wild order silver certificate for $75. And that's for only members, by the way. I told y'all. Someone hit me up and asked for a $75 silver certificate when I made it very clear in the video. It's $100 for those that are not members of the university or are not joining members on YouTube. And if you are a joining member, you need to tell me your username on YouTube that you are using when you signed up. I know my members, so you can't run that game on me. Okay? But, go watch that video. Right? Now, y'all need to be sending a invoice to your jobs. If it's for the last 3 years, you're going to multiply that, because I told y'all right now we're at like 800 or 1,000. 600, some doing 600. We was at 200 when we started this whole thing, silver thing. Now y'all understand what I was teaching. Silver prices then shot up times 3, so it's really 4 times what it was when you look at the numbers now. So it was $25 for one coin, is now $105, so it's 4 and a little. a little bit over that. But look like 5% into that, into the next 100. So you do the math calculations. So if we was at 200, I mean, we would definitely be at a little bit over 800. Okay? Headed into the thousands. What I mean by, so if your job was paying you $100,000 a year, let's be reasonable, 50,000. Some of y'all ain't making that. So if you did 8 times 800, you would be at $40 million at the end of the year what they owe you for your labor. Down on the bartering section, let's go to the 1099B. And do this live for you. I'll go to the 1099B. 1099. Oops. 1099B. I could have just went over there and did that, but let's go over here. And just pull up the form. I don't want y'all to be, Ken, you should have showed the dang form. And those who have the tax class, then you already know how to fill this out. Okay? Right down here, well, let me show you first. Right here in 1E, cost or other basis. So what they're saying is, what was the cost before you gave this asset, which is your labor? If you're dealing with some other instrument and you settle the debt, what is the cost of the silver? You know, you can go into fiduciary fees and have that if you have fiduciary fees and, you know, include that. But it's the cost of the silver or the gold, whatever it costs, or other bases. Okay? What did it start with in order to do this transfer? Okay? Well, 1E will transfer down to 13. Always. This is always. Okay? So, if it's $40 million that they owe me, right? And this is leading right back into that Form 843, by the way. So I haven't lost you at all. I hope not. Always check box 12. Okay? You're always going to check box 6. And it's always going to be gross. Report it to the IRS because you want to report it. How do you report it? Well, if you look up here, you're going to report it on the 8949. And if it's government, then it'll be the 4797 or the 1041D. We don't do 1040s. Y'all out there who keep messing with these 1040s and you talking about you in trust, you do not supposed to be messing with a 1040. Those are for citizens. And 9 times out of 10, for the majority of you, y'all will get, and that's because the IRS haven't looked at it yet, y'all will get a frivolous filing. You cannot operate in trust being a citizen. When I'm saying this, I mean as in the private trust. We're talking about the foreign trust. We're not talking about no domestic trust. Because the domestic trust, they're looking at y'all to run it like a United States trust. We're running this as a Aboriginal or Native trust. Foreign trust. Okay? Now, I hope y'all get that. So, I'm not going to go into this form. Y'all want the tax class, it's $325, and you will have to sign an NDA, our rules and regulations, and no refund policy. Okay? Because I had too many people try to get this stuff, copy it, and try to get paid back. That's just a shame. When you're about to get millions to billions of dollars, and you want to be cheap. So I had to implement that to stop y'all boogers. Yeah, I'm going to stick it to them. You stick it to me, it'll be the last being you stick anything to. But ask them ones in California who tried that mess. They going after 'em. And you know when you owe state tax, they're going after your ass. You're going to have to file bankruptcy to get that off for you on the state. And then the IRS still coming at you. Okay? So don't mess around with this. All right? So, yeah, the bartering goes down there because you bartered your labor. And that will be the $40 million. That's the value of that. Okay? You already got the fiat, but you do want to convert that over. They paid you a tax, and then the IRS want their piece of the taxes. And ROU is a negotiable instrument. Let me break that down to you. They gave you an ROU. That is a debt. So the IRS have to tax that debt. Okay? The companies that you work for let the IRS know, hey, we gave this being over here some taxes. And the IRS stick their hand out, or Uncle Sam, where's my cut? The state also, in certain states, stick their hand out. Where's our cut? And this is all to mislead you into thinking that what you're receiving, the negotiable instrument, is not a tax. Remember what I told y'all? He who holds the negotiable instrument last, that's their ass. So you have to settle the debt, send it back to the company. All of you who then made deposits in your bank account or had direct deposits, you are untaxable. I'm going to say it again. Those who had direct deposits or put checks into their bank account, you are untaxable. Why? Because under 12 USC, it tells you that anything that's deposited into that account, okay, you are to get credits from. So when you pull it back out, those are credits. Okay? But the bank now is showing they gave you a negotiable instrument, which is saying what? We owe you. So if you pull out $100, they're saying, I owe you, or we owe you. So now you need to send them an invoice with every withdrawal you do, whether it's at the ATM, whether you walk in the bank, whether you got a traveler's check. You need to turn around and do an invoice with a barcode on it for the claim. An assignment cannot be made until a what? Claim is made first. 31 USC 3727. When you give it to them, before you give it to them, or upon giving it to them, you need to make sure you do a 1099-A to claim that debt. Then when they receive it, it's just been assigned. So what's happening is the job is filling your assignment. They already got a claim on it. That's why the check numbers are all there and all those numbers at the bottom of your check stub. That's their claim. Then they send it to the bank, giving the bank an ROU. But they know how to handle all this. You don't. So you never reported the transactions. The job gave you an ROU. You need to send them an invoice for the gross. For the gross. Then they jacked y'all. They took money. A blank W-2 over here. Let's find a W-2. Blank W-2. See, I was just going to be talking about that form. But I got to woo y'all into this because some of y'all ain't going to understand it. Understand or overstand. And when you don't understand it, that's terrible. So, that's a W-2, yeah. So, here's the W-2, right? Let's get this off here. All right. So, as y'all see here, It got wages, tips, and other compensation. Don't worry about the federal income tax, Social Security tax, all that stuff. Don't worry about that. But what you're going to worry about is invoicing the job what's on box 1. Get the barcode from me. I will register it. Okay? Right? And those who are not part of the 100 Kings, it is $25 for the barcodes. That includes y'all who are just the $29.99 per month members. Okay? The 100 Kings and 100 Queens who are in the university, they've been dedicated to this group. So this is why they get this. Okay? For the free. It's included in their monthly dues, which is only $100 a month. Okay? Now, so this is the amount that, and I will give you the invoice once you order the barcode. Okay? For those who don't have it. So your invoice will read, and I can help you through it on how to fill that out, but you will have to schedule an appointment. Those are members. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the days you will book. That is only for the university members, not for the YouTube joiner members. Okay? So what y'all will have to do is tender for a VIP section, which is on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay? And you get an hour. Some of y'all are long-winded, and y'all just want me to go in detail about everything. Okay? So, but those who are on Tuesdays and Thursdays as university members, just remember you only have 30 minutes on those days. So don't try to go over that, because I will be running into another appointment. But the invoice, the first thing y'all need to be doing right now is getting a barcode from me, because that is claiming your status for the lawful money. The 13-digit barcode is foreign. It is not a North America barcode like the 12. Go look at your counter right now and go get some off that counter. Get some chips, some cookies, or some. Look at the back of it. You'll see it's 12 digits. Because in order to do commerce in the United States, you have to use a 12-digit barcode. Those that use 13-digit barcodes are saying, I'm not from the United States. Do y'all understand why we operate with that? So why some of these fake gurus out here on this. They're running out here getting these fake barcodes from these fake companies online. Don't know how to operate them. Try to come over here and get knowledge and wisdom so they can try to run off with it and stop it. Stop it. Get your stuff done. Get your stuff done. All right? And you won't have to worry about anything. Okay? So, it's based off the wages here. Right? And go back over here. Now, you have the hour VIP book. Those are $40, but if you need a whole month to get this stuff complete, I suggest you tender the $100 and book your days there. And you only get to book one appointment, and then once we're done with that one appointment, you can move to the next appointment. I don't allow you to come in and book 20 days in the month all at once, and you don't know what we're going to talk about next. Because the way I operate is, once I talk to you on the phone and tell you something needs to be done, and then once it's completed, then you come back to me and I will grade whatever it is you've done to make sure it is accurate. Then I will tell you to go ahead and move to the next thing. Okay? You see how this works? Step by step by step. I'm holding your hand. Okay? If you don't want nobody holding your hand through this process, then oh well, forget it. But remember, y'all will sign that NDA, rules and regulations, and no refund policy. Okay? This is very serious, and I take it serious. So take me serious. Okay? All right, so now, This is real important. And on these things here, who's the payer? You are. You paid the recipient, which is your job, what you bartered. That is your labor. It is bartering. For those that don't know. And I have the form that's done by the IRS to show y'all that. Okay? So whenever you book your appointment, I can email that to you so that way y'all can read it and see how that goes. And then you're going to have to do a 1099 miscellaneous. So all y'all right now should be doing a 1099 miscellaneous. So if your job pays you, and I'm giving an example, $50,000, and then it came up to the $40 million, then your invoice needs to read that, and you need to do a 1099 miscellaneous right now at the sound of my voice. Send those things out to them. Okay? You go on 1099 online, put that in, boom. You can print your copy off, go back in there, and where it says review copies, print, you print their copy where it says recipient's copy, and you mail that off with the invoice. Okay? That's for the labor. And remember, jobs have to, if you request lawful money, give you lawful money. Now, if they give you lawful money, there's none owed. But your lawful money needs to be in the amount that you demand or request. So on your invoice, you need to say, in lawful money. You already got the fiat. Now, you need to tax them. How do you tax them? Let's go over here. 8288A and B. Start with the B first. Click on that. You're going to fill this out. You can look at my videos on that. They're up if you're a $29.99 per month member to see how this goes. Okay? In this case, you are the transferor because you transferred your labor over to the transferee who received it. Now, what is the tax amount? So if you got paid $40 million in lawful money, which is what you're asking for off of the $50,000 in fiat that they paid you for the gross, okay, you multiply that times 24%. So that would be the amount that they owe. The contract price is for the $40 million. I'm just giving y'all an example. It'd be the $40 million. That's the contract. Because based on the law, okay, y'all can look this up, you can request lawful money. Start in the and franchise should tell you if he's watching the video under Illinois. Is it Illinois or Iowa? It's one of the two. Under the Department of Labor, I think it's labor law, something like that. But yeah, you can look it up under there, and they took that from the federal code, which we can't find which federal code it's from, but it is from a federal code because all states abide by those federal codes. They didn't make that up on their own. Okay? Date of transfer would be the date you started your labor for that year. It'd be the first of the year. Now, if you're doing 3 years, I would do, because you might only could do one per year. And I'm about to get into the 843 form. But if you can, I would do all 3 years of the last 3 years. And that's how this goes. So I'm showing y'all how to get y'all lawful money. Okay? Now, what is it? It's definitely real property. Okay? But when y'all set up your appointments, I'll go down this thing with y'all to show y'all. I'm not going to show you everything. Okay? The adjusted basis, okay, if you had anything that you added on, then it would be $40 million plus that. Okay? Now, You don't have to put the tax on here. Why? Because the IRS is already going to tax it and send them the bill. Okay? Why is the contract price here? I was talking to someone else, a couple other beings, and I said, don't you know what this form is used for? It's used for real estate. Okay? Mainly real estate. Okay? So, if it's real property that they use, which is you, definitely real property, or you can put other, but you have better give an explanation. Okay? Why don't anyone ever get one of these when they're buying a house? Did y'all ever get one of these? No, you didn't. Because you're telling them you are a U.S. citizen. But either way it goes, you know the Europeans are foreign too. One is always going to be foreign. If you're using or not getting this form, then your status ain't corrected. And you bought a house, your status never was corrected. But once your status is corrected, and you do declare, then you know that they have to be taxed. Okay? You're on your native land, you did your Form 56 like I told you in the video, your status done. Okay? So, the transferee has to be taxed. In the other videos, I show us as the transferee, and they are the transferor. Okay? Now, hope that's good enough for you so you can understand that. What we just did here, W-2. Now, let me go down the line with this. I'm about to still get to that 843. That's one. You invoice them. Okay? Also, you're going to have a handwritten letter requesting a return of what? Federal income tax, Social Security tax, it's just the taxes. Social Security tax. You really don't have to request the federal income tax if you don't want, but I would. And Medicare tax, and you're going to tell them that you are a Indian native. For the Moors, you would say that you're a Moor. Okay? As if you're really from Mauritania. Okay? I'm calling yourself no goddamn Moor, and I understand some of you say, oh, well, everything's goddamn Moor land. That's your opinion, because the Indians are not going to say that. And a lot of them don't even know what a Moor is. And got in this with plenty of people already. Wherever you live in is what you call your land. So when the Cherokee called their land whatever, the Seminoles called their land whatever, it was their land. Wherever they said they were, that's what they were. No matter what you called them. There's always different tribes. You can have tribe with just two people. There were just two tribes. Adam and Eve. Or Adam and Steve. Lord forbid. So, but you get my point. Okay, but anyway, you're requesting back the taxes because you are a native of the land. Okay? And you are tax exempt from all this. And that's what lures you back into the 843 form. Okay? Now, before I go on to the 843 form, I would also request this from the Social Security office. They're not telling you to do this on the 843, but I would. You can request it from, well, you know you're requesting it from the IRS. You know what forms you got to fill out there, so I wouldn't send it to them. But you got to put these people here on notice. Because the IRS going to hit you back with all these crazy codes trying to mislead you. Flim-flam you. Slap you around a little bit, make you dizzy. Oh, they said all these big words. All these codes. And a lot of times, they be throwing codes at you, and them codes ain't even relative to you and what you're doing. They just know you ain't going to read. They know you ain't going to be able to put it together, put the pie together. To know that the pie was only a half and it wasn't a whole. God dang, I got to put all these crumbs and all this together. Bump, I'm just going to listen to what they say. Instead of sitting there and piecing the pie back together like a puzzle. But anyway. Medicare. I will send Social Security Administration, wherever the tax division is, send them a letter asking for a refund because you're same thing that you did with pretty much did with the job because you are a native of the land. You're tax exempt. Medicare, same thing. Some of y'all be worried and be like, oh man, I ain't gonna have no Medicare tax to pay for my Medicare and Medicaid and all this stuff here. That's what y'all scared of. That's how they trick you, punk you, scare you. What about the ones that don't have a job? Okay? So you have to file the 1099-B to get refunded on all this. Now, I do want y'all to know that all of this is still federal. Federal tax. They say, oh, it's a refund of federal income tax. No. There's a form for the federal income tax, but there's also a form for number 4 and number 5. I mean, number 6, excuse me. Now, let's go to this 843. Claim for refund and request for abatement. What does abatement mean? It ain't the bait with the bait hotel. Well, who was that man that was killing all them people? No, that ain't it. Abatement means to lessen. Not a lesson that I'm giving you, but to lessen, less stress of paying taxes. Okay? All right? So, when you look at the first one, you're going to be wondering why I got just the 3 check. It says abatement or refund of tax other than income, because I told you there's some for income already. Estate, there's a form for the estate, which is 1041. Oops. Or gift tax. Now, those who are wondering, where is the gift tax? Let me give you examples. Child support. Any court. They're saying you gave this to them as a gift. Now, the CID division then went and investigated a lot of these courtrooms, a lot of these agents, and they got the money back. Because they got you paying the tax on the lawful money. Like I said, your insurance, child support. They say you just gave it to them as a gift, and then they tax you because they saying that they paid the tax for you. And you got to what? Repay it. So all you credit repair, fixer-uppers trying to fix everybody's credit, did you not tell them that credit is only tax credit to pay your taxes? That's all it is. You say, how did you come to that conclusion? Well, let's go back. Many that was on child support. And that's on it now. Go look at your credit report and look at what section is under. It's under loans. What loan? On the EFTPS system and under 26 USC 1445, it says that the let me go over here. Let's go over to 8288. Okay, on this form, with this form here, okay, they know they have to fill it out. 1099A. That's why, think about it, when you do the, what form is that? It's a form where it asks. Matter of fact, it might be on this one. It's on one of these forms where they ask, have taxes already been filed? Okay? And you put yes. Okay? What happens is they go ahead and pay the tax on the lawful money. Where's this lawful money at? Let's go back up here. Where's that lawful money at? I put that lawful money at. I put it around here. That's the lawful money. Now y'all see how it's coming back together? Why you're asking for the lawful money? You see why the IRS is taxing you on that other amount now? So, they got this. They say you gave it as a gift, and now there's a what? You think gifts are free? They're not. Gift tax. So you're paying the taxes on this, the lawful money. Why do you think it's on this form right here? Now, I wasn't never going to get on this form at all, but I told you I was going to be doing a video on the W-2, but I'd rather do those on one-on-one, because you got some out there that just, when I did a video on it, they took what I was starting and just ran with it. A lot of these gurus don't even know what these forms are used for. They try to read, and they miss the mark. Point as well. It clear as day says, refund of tax other than income. Let's go over here. This is your income. Okay? Other than estate. Where's the estate? Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Come on, buddy. Look, it's 1041. 1041 form. There we go. And there go the word right there. While y'all over here filing 1040s. Says other than income. Estate or gift tax. Now, it did not say trust. So you do not supposed to be having a 1040 with this when you do this. Because your 1040 is for income. So, there's forms for all this. That's why it says abatement or refund of tax other than these three. Okay? So what are we doing this for? Okay, we're gonna get back to that. So abatement or refund of tax that can't be claimed. That sounds like that right there. So we want to check that. Refund of tax. What tax would that be? Can be a trust tax. Claim on any form except Form 843. You hear that? So check the box below that indicates your reason for filing Form 843, abatement or refund of tax that can't be claimed on any form. So you can't get it on any form. So you got to look at your forms. Like there is an 82, 88 form. Okay, so let's go over there. Go over to there. Pull that up. Okay. U.S. withholding tax return for certain what? Dispositions. So, let's go over here. What is this form? All right. So, 1099B. When you get rid of any asset which you bought it with, that is a disposition, especially up under trust and estates. You're getting rid of your labor. You gave it to them, so that's why you what? Transferred it over to them where they became the transferee. This is also why you do this type of form. Let's go over here. I already mentioned this, but I'm going to pull it up so that way you can see it. I don't want nobody saying I didn't understand that. 1099 miscellaneous. Okay, you just could have said it. No, I want to show it to you so you can see it. These forms are simple to fill out. Everything is 0 except box 3. And that's the amount of labor they received from you. So every last one of y'all at the sound of my voice can go ahead and fill this out. Now, if, and this is what I would do, you would definitely have to get the silver certificates from me before you do this. So if there is federal tax that you're going to say was withheld on that big amount, that 40 million right there that they received, then let's do the math calculations. Times 24%, that'll be 9.6 million. So what you would have to do first is do a 1041. And let me pull this up for y'all. You're getting this live, buddy. I'm saying I never gave you nothing. King, you ain't gave me shit. You a damn lie. Let me get this for you. I'm going to make sure I give you the right address to send this to. All right. So, if you're going to pay the tax, okay, and get that refund there back, you're going to have to deduct that 9.6 million from the 40 million only on here, okay? So that way you know the amount that you're going to get back, okay? So even if you don't put the 9.6 million, then what you're going to have is a debt that you're going to sell to the United States Department of the Treasury with your 1099 OID. Okay? Now, you can charge your job interest on that 40 million. It's up to you. So that way you definitely can get more interest off of the interest, because the interest is lawful money. Okay? So, if you're going to pay the tax and you'll get all that back, you're going to send it to, okay? Depends on what region you're in now. But the main one is the Internal Revenue Service, Kansas City. And I have MO here. All right. Let me grab my And the zip code is 64999. Now, why do they got 3 nines at the end? Are they saying they pure silver? Hyphen 0206. Okay? There's no P.O. box, but you can look it up to see if you can find one on that. But that is the address if you're going to pay the taxes for them. Because normally that's what they do. And then now there's a debt of that $9.6 million on them. So now they got 2 debts. The tax debt and the $40 million they already owe you. Okay? Because normally what happens when you pay somebody something, you have to deduct the taxes out, and then that means the amount that you bought it is left over. It's just like if I gave you a check. Your gross is $40 million, and then once I deduct the 24%, why 24%? Because that is what the IRS told us, the kings and queens. Okay? So that would leave over whatever is left. Okay? And that would be the net amount. But remember, we're reporting the gross as we did on the 1099-B. Okay? And it's always FATCA filing requirement. Always. Now, let me put my folder back up over here. I didn't supposed to whip that out at all. Did not supposed to whip it out. Like goddamn Will Smith's daughter, whip my hair back and forth. Like, whip my folder back and forth. Anyway, so let's go back over here. I'm trying to connect these dots for y'all so you have a great understanding of this form. So anybody that's going to tell y'all to use this form, they better explain these forms over here. 8288A, 8288B. Now, this is for the transfer tax, okay? Import, export. So when they tell y'all, so if you're dealing with a negotiable instrument, it will be these forms over here, not this form. Okay? Because some of you just went and just filed taxes and filled this form out, asking for money, but don't understand why you did it. And some of you didn't cash the... So within 5 years, once they find it and scan it and go through it, your ass is grass. I would pay that back, get these silver deeds, just, man, it's kind of like you got to go tell on yourself. You got to be a snitch on your own self. Yeah, if you're like, you know that man on Minister Saudi said, you know you're fucked up, right? You know you're fucked up, right? Now your behind going to be sitting up there telling the IRS, looking like a little kid with your hands in your pockets, with your shirt bent down, with your snot nose looking down, kicking at the ground, moving like that, looking up. I know I fucked up, right? I know I fucked up, right? And now, you got to figure out how to pay their ass back. You're going to have to get an invoice. You ever seen some mess like that where you go tell them you fucked up and you spent the money and now you want to pay them? How many of y'all been that honest? How many of y'all can be that honest? Hey, they ain't catch me, I ain't gonna say nothing. Okay, and that's the worst thing you can think of. Because when they come, they're gonna come at a time where they didn't watch you, and they know you don't have nothing, they know you don't have no knowledge, and you're done. I'm not trying to just pump fear into you. I'm pumping truth into you. So it says, can't be claimed on any form. So it depends on what y'all dealing with. Some of y'all just went and grabbed a bunch of stuff and threw it on this form. Said everything's a damn tax. That's forms for different things. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. Pay attention. Next. So if it's going to be on the 8288 form, you got to uncheck this. Now the next is refund to employee. Let's go over to the W-2. Where's my W-2? Go to the W-2. Show what I'm going to do. It's the W-2 here. Yeah, this is my W-2. Right? Remember, you request the job to get all these taxes back over here. You got a form for this one. This is 1041 there because you're operating in trust. If you're a native of the land, you should be operating in trust because you're under the Indian trust. You're supposed to be. If you don't have a chief or any of that, they should be handling this for you. 25 CFR 1200. Go read it. About the Indian trust. Medicare. Okay? Now you need to request these taxes back from your job. They might say, oh, we already sent it off to Social Security. I will send it to Social Security as well. Okay? Now, it says refund to employee of excess Social Security. It's always excess if you didn't supposed to have anything going to Social Security or Medicare. If I'm a native, they should be taking neither one of those. So understand why it's excess. Now, the typical excess is you're supposed to be only paying $100 this check, but they took out $200 for Social Security and just Social Security. Just giving an example. So you need a refund of $175, $165. Breaking this form down for you. RTA tax, okay, that's your retirement tax withheld by any one employer. Notice it says one. So those who went and did more than one, your ass is grass. That's what I mean. You're supposed to operate with one. Those who just threw a bunch of bills together, and I feel for you. But only, watch this now, but only if your employer will not adjust the over collection. So this is what I told you when I was on the other form. You request/demand that they give you the money back. Now, you might be saying, King, we don't supposed to be touching fiat. Well, remember, they take it as they are your middleman to give your fiat to Social Security, Medicare. So you know what that means for you? You just gave an IOU, just like when you make your deposits in the bank. That's an IOU to the bank, and you have to use the silver deeds, copper deeds, whatever deeds you get from me to settle those debts. And the way you find out what you paid in for all your life, you go to Social Security Administration and you pull it up to get a report of everything that was paid in. Do the same thing with Medicare. Okay? Matter of fact, do the same thing with the IRS for the federal income tax paid in. Same thing with your state. If you did RRTA, do the same thing with them. Whoever gets those funds for your retirement. That tax. If it's the IRS, it's still the IRS. And you're going to have to settle it. You're going to have to get on the phone with me or join the university in order for me to show you how to settle this stuff. Okay? And I do have some videos on it, but I am not putting it out there to the public. So when you go over to the W-2 form, okay, if your wages was direct deposit, you need to settle the debt with the bank. Coming from your job to you, since they gave you the check stub, this is why they still give you a check stub, because that's still part of the IOU, instead of the IOU all going to the bank. See how they do it? Now you send the job an invoice. Anytime you receive anything, a payment is an IOU. Now, federal income tax, you gave that to the IRS, Social Security, gave that to Social Security Administration, Medicare, gave that to Medicare. That's saying I owe you, I owe you, I owe you. Now, those amounts, you pay federal income tax of $15,000. Let's go over here. $15,000. Multiply that times your, if you're doing 600, 700, 800, then you do those. It's up to y'all which one y'all choosing. But I'm at 800 right now. Based on the price of silver going up, our silver has risen. It has risen. Just like the dead. It was dead, now it's up. That joker looking alive. I was like, God dang. I looked at that goddamn silver and said, oh man, this silver looked like Jesus. I ain't know Jesus was silver. They said he was white on the pictures. That's what the Pope them said, but we always knew he was lying. He was really silver. God dang. But anyway, God has sense of humor. But anyway, so 15,000. Now you're going to multiply that times, let's say I do 800. That's 12 million. That I have to settle on the federal income tax. So if I go and I get all my taxes that I paid to the IRS since I started working, well, you're going to multiply that times 800. Now, if you're just doing this job, you just do this job. All of them. Same thing with Social Security, same thing with Medicare. Okay? Please go back and watch this video right here. On my channel, type in King Stevian, is your asset to be delivered? It's supposed to say it's ass-set in the colons, and then I had asset. They must took it off. But anyway. Okay? Hope y'all get this. Now, it says, RTA tax withheld by any employer, but only if your employer will not adjust the overcollection. See? So you don't supposed to just be talking about an instrument. The only way you can deal with an instrument is on the edge of dealing with the gift tax, because that's where they stole the lawful money. The credit card companies do the same thing. They took the lawful money, and then they got you paying back the tax on the lawful money. That's what these boogers are doing. Same thing with your mortgage. Same exact thing. They took the lawful money, and then the amount of money you're paying every month is the tax. They gave you a loan, 26 U.S.C. 1445, under inadequate security, paying the tax for you. Under EFTPS system instructions, you can go look it up. It talks about the loan, the tax loans. When have any of y'all ever heard of a tax loan? We're not talking about the tax loan when you go to the goddamn H&R Block of Jackson Hewitt. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the tax loan to pay the taxes. That's what the EFTPS system is. So don't get it confused. So if you're dealing with a job, this is what you're dealing with. Okay? And the reason why you would want to use this is because you don't want to give an IOU to who? To Social Security Administration. To Medicare. To RRTA. Y'all see why you would use this form? And now, the IRS owe you back. And when they pay you back with a check, you bill them now because they already took your lawful money. Anytime you give them any fiat, which is a negotiable instrument, 18 U.S.C. 8, 12 U.S.C. 411, 31 U.S.C. 3123, 31 U.S.C. 3727 applies. There's interest and principal. They got both. You got nothing. Let's go to the next one. Refund to employee of excess tier 2 RTA tax. Okay? So you got any of these railroad things that was withheld, that would apply to you. Refund to employee of Social Security, Medicare, or RTA tax withheld in error. Now, you might be able to use this one over this one if they made the error when you already told them that you was a native of the land. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, it was an error. But if they don't want to and you requested it, it'll be this one. But only if your employer will not adjust the overcollection. So this can apply because it's an error when you are a native. If you turned your document in, that is an error. Okay? Abatement or refund of Tier 1 RTA tax for an employee representative. You're not dealing with that. So I want y'all to see that this is dealing with tax right here. And the next one is dealing with a penalty. So if you had a penalty that you settled the debt on, king, queen, that was a penalty and interest by the IRS. And you settled the debt. You can demand that back. Because remember, you gave an IOU if you paid fiat, but if you paid the settlement, you still get that back. So last year, if you paid anything in, this year on your 1041, let's go over there. Let's go over there. Where's that 1041 at? There we go. So your taxes, total tax payments, will be somewhere in here. Total payments. From your Schedule G, Part 2, line 19. Okay? Overpayment. Okay? You made your payments in. It comes back. Okay? So, penalties and interest, find the one that fits you. Okay? It's up to you to read this. It says allowed under law, find the law on that. Okay, it's still an IOU. You settled the debt on that if you had paid any fiat, and that is refundable. Okay, same thing with the interest. You have to settle the debt. Anytime you give the IRS or a hospital or a job or anybody anything, you have to settle the debt. Even if you went and bought a 25-cent piece of candy, settle the debt on that thing. Let me see what 25 cents is, by the way. King, you going after a quarter? You goddamn right I am. Multiply that times 800, and I just made $200. I can pay my light bill. God dang. Whoo! My lights ain't gonna get turned off. King, your lights about to get turned off? I would tell you, yeah, so you can just pay it. But nah, it ain't due yet. But thank you. Just like the deacon in the church. Thank ya. All right, so other abatement or refund of assessed penalties, interest, or additions to tax because you were unable to read and timely respond to a standard print notice from the IRS. So what this means is, if they send it out late and you was unable to read it, or it says in a timely manner and timely respond. Like, you know, they always send you these notices and they be like, oh, it need to be done by tomorrow. And then they come hitting you with some kind of late fee penalty and all that stuff there. Well, that's what that is. Okay? Now, For those who are on Medicare and Medicaid and all that stuff there, who even paid some fee out, refund of branded prescription drug fee. Okay? So if it's a branded prescription, you can get a refund of that. Now, refund of annual fee on health insurance providers. Now, you need to check with them, and in your contract, you see if they're taking out any funds from the funds that you send in before you request this. Okay? Now, caution, do not use Form 843 when you must use a different tax form. So this is why I'm going through this with y'all, because I don't know why these gurus are telling y'all to use these goddamn forms. Talking about what you pay for your car and all this stuff here. Well, first of all, you need to go back and handle, where's that form at? Trying to make sure I grab it. You need to first handle the 8288B. Okay? Well, let me find that other one. 8288A. And I went over this so many times. And I'm praying and hoping that y'all are getting this. Okay? Now, this form right here, I'm going to say it again like I told y'all before. Okay? This is 8288. This is the actual tax return that goes with or after you handle the business with the 8288A and B. So if you handle settling the debts and all that, then you fill this out. Okay? So those who are out there telling y'all to fill out a 1040 to get a tax back for you saying everything you paid in was a tax, well, you're using the wrong goddamn form. Now, if your status ain't corrected, I can understand why you're using a 1040. Okay? But if you're going to say your status is corrected, then you'll be using this right here, 8288. Now, some of us still have to file a 1041. Okay? You just got to know when. It's like playing a game of basketball with Michael Jordan. You got to know when you're going to come in and when you go sit on the goddamn bench. You got to know when to use the right form. Like Michael Jordan, he got to know when to use the right jersey, because he just might get booed. It might not work out for you. Okay? So these two forms, 8288, 8288B, goes to the IRS together. Now, this form, and I said this in one of the other videos, goes to the company. The one that sent you the instrument, or the one you sent the instrument to. Okay? Depends on if you're going to be the transfer or the transferee, and always the withholding agent is always the company. Or you can find out who they bank with as their trust indenture, and that is the withholding, can be the withholding agent. Because they're the ones going to the treasury putting the bond on you. That's the one you're making the payment to. That's their agent. It's a bank. If you can't find it, just put the company you're dealing with. Your job is a withholding agent. Okay? You got their tax ID number. Foreign person is you. When you fill this out, that makes you be entitled to lawful money. Get it? This box here is checked. Okay? I hope y'all get this. Now, make sure you check which one you are. Now, if you're getting lawful money, it does not go back to an individual. I'm just going to tell you that. It will always be a trust or estate. Trust or estate. I put E for the estate. So let me go back here. Just put so you'll know exactly what goes there. Okay? Mailing address of the foreign person, holding agent. It's very simple. Foreign person information here, mailing address of the foreign person, withholding agent. And yes, you can fill this form out. Okay? Now remember, when you fill this form out, you got to go down here and copy everything from the top one, all the way down to this one, all the way down to the last one here. There's 3. Now remember, on the side, you have for the withholding agents. You got to mail them a copy. Then over here, one to the Internal Revenue Service, you're going to cut that one off, and you're going to attach it to your 8288B and mail that out. I think it's Ogden, Utah. For the Internal Revenue Service there, it says send to Internal Revenue Service for use by person subject to withholding. So they both go to IRS, but the one that is withholding actually sends it to the IRS. So they're going to get this copy, and they're going to get that copy. Okay? Go down here. It looks like they get all 3. They get the 2 for use by foreign person. Actually, excuse me. This is us right here. This is us. When we're dealing with the job, this is us. Okay? Trying to get that right. Excuse me. All right? Because you're the foreign person here, so this is your copy. But it says still send to Internal Revenue Service. So what you're going to do, this means when you're doing your 8288 form right here, to get the tax money back, where is that damn form? Sure remember where I put these things at. But anyway, that one right there, the tax return. So that would be right here, okay? Because they already got a copy of it anyway, so. All right? Now, again, you got to know how to use these forms. It says, do not use this form, reading it again, Form 843, when you must use a different tax form. For example, do not use Form 843 to claim a refund or abatement of an overpayment of income tax. Of course, that's 1041, 1040. Or an employer's claim for FICA tax. Okay? RTA tax or income tax withholding. A refund of excise taxes based on the non-taxable use or sale of fuels. So I see a lot of y'all doing this stuff with excise taxes too, and y'all are totally wrong. There's forms for that. Okay? It's easy to ask, I guess, Google, what form do I need to use for excise taxes with the IRS? It's simple. Some of you just assume and presume. Based on the non-taxable use of sale of fuels, so we're going into where you go get your gas. That's taxes in that. Some of you didn't even know that. Or an overpayment of excise tax reported on forms 11C, 720, 730, or 2290. Also, do not use Form 843 to claim a refund of tax return preparer or promoter penalties. Okay, and what they mean by that, there are some forms for fake tax preparers, and they get fined. You got promoters, like the one that stole our process. Fake janky promoter. Y'all seen that movie? Anyway, but that's what they mean by penalties there. Now, this is self-explanatory. Name of a person requesting a refund or abatement. Okay, do not put your spouse on this. We operate in trust and estate. States. So if you do not have your estate, foreign trust, or you're with it, okay, and make sure you go watch my video on this, because the trustee in these cases are only your king or queen name. And don't go making up some stuff. Because there was a couple of you came in this group trying to come in, and y'all starting off wrong already. Crawl before you walk. I don't care what other king or queen name y'all want to use, but you'll use that after you're done with us. The way this is set up, look at it in the scripture. When Jesus gave them disciples their name, he gave it to them. And why are we turning the first name backwards? Because everything in the United States Corporation is freaking backwards. And then when you go look up the name spelled backwards on Google Translate, it detects the language. That tells you your name spelled backwards is real. I went through 100 kings and queens first name spelled backwards, and it's accurate. And it's foreign that has meaning to it. Stop making up stuff. Stop calling your name Ben Israel or China White Israel. Go with the flow and learn. Because once they see you as a king or queen of the 100 kings, they're not going to give you kickback. They're only going to give you kickback if they have one of these new representatives in the office that just want to give you a hard time. Or you did something other than what I told you to do. Because they see you trying to say your name is King such and such, and it's not the way we said it, they're going to flag you. And you're going to come to me saying, hey, King such and such, I'm going to say, I'm not going to help you. Well, what about I did all this and paid all that? I don't care. Told you from the jump what to do. You want to be hard-headed. Because I said this same thing many times to plenty, and they didn't listen, and they had their ass handed to them. Again, like I said in all the videos, you're going to get something back in the mail, and you're like, what is that? King, I got a letter. I said, you got a letter from where? The IRS. Man, it said, I said, I don't want to know what it says. What it's saying is, this is your ass. They handed your ass back to you. And I'm going to hang up the phone, and I'm going to... Some of you want to be taught, but you will not apply what I gave you. It's a reason behind everything that I show you, teach you, lead you to see. I'm seeing it so much. Even the ones I never thought would sit here and give me a hard time, they gave me a hard time, especially with filing taxes. Send it out to different places they didn't supposed to send it to, jumping, skipping steps. This is why they having their asses handed to them all over the place. They go to the Treasury or the authentication department, they have their ass handed to them because these people see you jumping. They can't, don't you know they can pick up the phone and call other departments to see, do you know this person? Yeah, they sent this in. Oh, so they're trying to copy off the 100 Kings and 100 Queens process. They're not part of the 100 Kings and Queens because they wouldn't have did their last tax filing while they on step 5. They supposed to have been did this step. Don't act like they don't know the process. I told y'all this already because they investigated the process. They know ain't nothing wrong with it. So you wondering why you're having a hard time is because you gave me and the Most High a hard time. Unless you like these little ones here, you'll never get into the kingdom of heaven. And that's what? Walking in the streets of gold. Meaning you'll never get your lawful money. All right, if you have a foreign address, of course, you do not put your foreign address on here because this is where they're going to send everything. Now, if you're going to have your funds wired over to your bank account in Kenya or whatever foreign country your 9(8) trust is at, the same place where you get your birth certificate, not the live birth, the regular birth certificate, authenticated at. Then you would have your, what is that, the 8203 form or 8888 form? I think it's the 8203 form. Let's see. Let me make sure. I want to mislead you here. Nope. 8302. 8302. Okay, yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. So yeah, this one. And make sure you have your Fidelity account set up with your 9/8. So if you are not sending it over cross seas, then it needs to be your Fidelity account with the 9/8 over here. That's where the lawful money goes. You can't pull it out and start spending it, trying to make it rain. Let it stay in there, and you live off the interest. And at the end of every month, there were funds from that brokerage account into your cash management account, which is your trust cash management, not your personal. And then you start distributing it out to your sons, your daughters, your grandbabies. That's how it's supposed to go. Now, your fiduciary fees can come out of that as well. Since you're not listed as a beneficiary, it's your job to work that trust as trustee. Okay, as the king or queen. And when you get it, now, for some of you who don't have accounts in the king name, you're just going to have to get with me on that so I can walk you through that. But, yeah, you're going to need that, and then you'll be using the, what is that, for W-7 form, because you're going to have to report that income to the IRS. But the beauty of that, you'll be able to get your foreign tax ID number for you as a king or queen. Okay? Make sure there's nothing else here that applies. Make sure you check over all this here. Inter tax period or fee year, all that got to be filled out. Amount to be refunded or abated goes there. Dates of payments for which you are requesting a refund. So it's kind of like the 1099 OID with the 8281 form. And you will put it in these boxes. See? So you can break that down. If you don't want 10 million going in the bank account at once, then you break that thing down over the course of a period. Okay? And if you notice, there are 12 boxes here, A through L, and that is 12. So you can get it monthly. Okay? So check the boxes with the type of tax fee for which you are asking a refund or abatement. Okay, and then you go down here. Now, let me go back here. Check only one box unless an exception applies. Okay? So if it's employment, deal with that. Okay? State. Now, if you ask for an estate refund, now, this would have to be something you would have to pay to the court, but then I would have to put that in gift. So it's up to you to know exactly which one this is dealing with. Okay? Most likely it will be your a gift tax. Okay? Excise tax. Some of you don't even know what that is, so we're going to go look that up in a minute. Income, you know what that is. And you remember what they said at the top. You can't use this for income tax. Now the fees, that's the IRS fees, penalty fees. They give you penalties, okay? But you know you can't use that for this. It's like they're setting you up, okay? So the main thing we will use here for us is estate, employment, gift, fees, silver penalty. But we handle that, the fees and the silver penalty with our gold and silver. Before I get out of here, I'll pull up excise so y'all can see it. It says a tax levied. Okay, do y'all know what a levy is? Yes, y'all do. It's a lien on certain goods and commodities. Child support liens your bank account. So those who have liens on the bank account, okay? They took the money from you out of your bank. You want to get that back. Okay? It says goods and commodities produced or sold within a country and on licenses granted for certain activities. Okay? So now, when we're dealing with taxes levied, certain goods and commodities, well, we go into the instruments. 26 USC 1445, when they send you these instruments, okay, they pay the tax for you. And then they turn around and then they say they gave you a loan. And you're paying on it, but when you fail to pay on it, they lien your estate. That's what happens in these cases with your credit cards and loans and stuff like that. Okay? You might say, oh, it says goods and commodities. Well, what is the good? The good is the dang instrument. Commodities still can be real estate. You got land, producer sold within a country, and on licenses. This is on license, so it ain't just food. On licenses granted. Why do child support suspend your license, put a lien on your license? They're getting paid off that. And you best believe it's a what? An excise tax on that. Okay? Now, those who do music, license granted. You granted Spotify, all y'all who own Spotify and got music on there or took your music down, that was a dumb move. That was a very dumb move to take your music off Spotify because they saying that you have to hit 1,000 plays in order for them to pay you. No, Jose. No way. Let me tell you why. Because you gave them a license. They're not paying you and they're putting ads against your song. Please, if you know anybody that do music, let them hear this part here. Do a short on this and put it up because I am. You can levy them. Levy their license. Put a lien on them. They owe you. It is law that they have to pay you if they got a license from you. You're the copyright holder. You're the record label. You're the publisher, the writer. The publisher, the writer, and the record company can put liens on them. Because all that pressure now is going towards the publisher and the writer. They still have to pay you your publishing fees, mechanicals, and writers. Okay? So you know anybody that's doing music and they're in that boat? They're all in that boat. See, me, I know how to handle this stuff. You granted them a license. Okay? So, if the police stop you, you're granting them your license if you gave it to them. They owe you. Every time you give them your license, anybody your license, they owe you for using your license. They put it in a computer, they scan it, they swipe it, they tap it. It don't goddamn matter. They owe you. Y'all need to get with me on putting a claim on those licenses for those who still have them. So that way when anyone uses it, because it's your license. It's an asset. It's intellectual property. It's IP, intangible property as well. I'll let these people punk y'all. All right, so let me finish this up. Now, there's a whole bunch of other things here. Indicate the type of fee or return filing. Now, we're not going over these 944, 943, and all that. The one we will be dealing with will be, we're not doing 1040 either. Okay? We got 706, 709, And they do not have the 1041 here because that's what you're using to get the taxes back. And these would be with generation for your estate. So, in these cases, you need to know. Now, these right here, like your employee forms right here. Okay, employee forms. Okay? So you're going to have to know which one you are to use out of these. Okay? And like I said, I'll go over these with y'all. Okay? Prescriptions. Uncheck this for you. Okay? Then we got other. Now remember, your 1041 is used to get back refunds for the regular taxes that you're getting back, the interest. Okay? Now, if the claim or request involves a penalty, enter the Internal Revenue Code section on which the penalty is based. Instructions. Internal Revenue Code section, boom. Okay? So like I said before, everything's refundable. Said this plenty of times. Y'all just give out stuff and then go to sleep. Don't worry about it no more. No, get everything back. Check the box that indicates your reason for the request or refund or abatement. Interest was assessed as a result of IRS errors or delays. Well, I talked about these things here. A penalty or addition tax was result of erroneous written advice from the IRS. And you know they do that. Okay? You got your reasons here now. Reasonable cause or other reason allowed under the law can be shown. None of the above reasons apply. Okay? Explain why you believe this claim or request should be allowed. One, I would also have my 1099-A done on this amount. Your certificated deed from me with the barcode. Okay? Because it says your claim, this claim. So this form, you look at as a claim. Okay? How you computed the amount shown on line 2. If you need more space, attach additional details. Signature. Okay, so when you sign for the king signs for the straw man. It will be king such and such of the such and such estate /OBO, or you can put /S/POA, all caps POA, / then the straw man name. So the king or queen name, and then that information there, you can do OBO if you wanted to, then the straw man name. Okay? Either or is good. Okay? So, if the IRS sends you an identity protection pin, enter it here. So that's good. So if you're doing it on behalf of the straw man, then your number goes here that they gave you. Y'all who are the power of attorneys. Okay? The PTIN, all that stuff there, are the IPP number. Okay? So, you're not doing one as a spouse. You're not doing that because y'all have your own estates. All right? Keep that in mind. All right, I think that's it. I think I covered everything. If you don't think I covered everything, please put it in the comment section. But again, and it says here, Form 843 filed by an estate or trust must be signed by the fiduciary. So it lines up with what I was saying. Okay? So, if it's something that you think I missed on here, please put it in the comment section and I will answer. Or, other than that, that'll be it. So again, a lot of y'all who did these forms, it wasn't explained to y'all like this. You know that you're in trouble. You need to make it right. Okay? So that way it don't come back on you to hunt you. Especially at a time where you're least expected. Okay? Because from 5 years from now, 4 years from now, you might be in, shoot, the dumps, and they come hit you. It'll make you want to jump. You don't want to jump off the cliffs. Okay? So, that is it, kings and queens. Again, watch that video. Is your asset to be delivered? Type in my name, King Stevian. Those who are not member joiners, please go at this bottom of this video. We got join this channel to get access to perks. So all you got to do is click on that right there. Should take you over there. Let's go see. Right there. Join. Okay? That is it. So all y'all who have y'all jobs, this is the first steps y'all need to do. Okay? To get your refund. Right? You need to bill them. Bill them, bill them, bill them. All the labor that you put in goes on this. You go on 1099online.com. Register for an account in your king or queen name. First, the recipient is the job. You are the payer that paid them. Okay? The other income is the value of your labor. Whatever your job paid you, multiply that times 800. If you want to be humble about it, do 500. Do 200. Because some of you scared of what's owed to y'all. Remember, it's a law stating that they have to pay you in lawful money if you request. So when you request payment of lawful money. Do a 1099-A and put in the description box return of lawful money. 12 U.S.C. 411. Or you can do 18 U.S.C. 8. Okay? So what is the principle going to be on that? The principle is going to be on the 1099-A, what they paid you. Okay? The interest is what you will have in this other income box, which is the multiplication of the 200, 300, 500, or 800. Okay? It's getting y'all started here. 1099-A is very easy. Check the box where they are liable. Okay? You're always the payer and they're the payee. They're the ones that receive. The account number on the box will be whatever your employee number is. If you don't have an employee number, then you will put your Social Security number there. Okay? Hopefully y'all haven't did your last tax filing and went into that, because if not, you would have to put it into your estate number, tax ID number, or your WIFIT tax ID number. Okay? Everything else on here is going to be 0, but in 16 you're going to put 0, 17 0, 18 you will put the same amount of the amount that was bartered, and that's in box 3. So the bartering box on your 1099-B, let me go over here. Trying to find this thing. Got too many forms up here. So this is carried over. This is carried over to box 3 on the miscellaneous. Okay? Let me get out of this. Leave. Let's try to clear some stuff off here. Okay? Very simple. Put zeros in everything. Make sure you put your calendar date. Okay, for calendar year, so it's ending last year, be 25. If you're doing yours individually, for each individual year doing it, then you would just end it at that year. If you're gathering them all up from that one job, remember, it got to be from one job, not doing all your jobs. Because some of you are just, I don't know, can't even think of a name. But you try to jumble everything to goddamn together. You can't do that. Okay? Keep it clean. Do not check box 7. Everything else is 0. The only thing you worry about here is box 3. These boxes over here, factor requirement box, okay, account number, all this information here, 0. Tax ID number goes in number 17, excuse me. Tax ID number of, it says the payer, so it'd be your tax ID number here. That's you put over here. Okay, make sure that's there. And then the income that you put here in 3. Because you got to get them in trouble. The labor costs. And once you put this claim in with your 1099A, miscellaneous, okay, then that's, and your B, that's certification. 1099A, you're going to need that as well. So let me go over to this A. I don't want to leave you hanging. Show you how simple it is. Not difficult at all. So, calendar year, same thing, when it was ending. Date of lender's acquisition, when did you acquire the debt? Okay, you're going to need a certificated deed from me with a barcode before you assign this to them. Okay, do not do this without a barcode. Okay, outstanding principal. Okay, they already paid you in fiat. That's the IOU, but it's still a balance, which is a value. Okay, then you got your fair market value of your what? Bartering. Okay, check that box there. Description of the property. Already told you what to put there. They're the borrower. They borrowed your labor. You're the lender. And you're done. And you're going to do this on 1099 online, guys. Account number is the same thing. If it's your last tax filing, then you will put your Social Security number down here. And online, you will check the box, last tax filing. Do not do no corrected or void. Y'all got that? Simple and plain. And since it's January, they will approve this thing within a week. I just showed y'all how to do the A, the B, the miscellaneous. I really ain't show you the B, but I have to get on the phone with you because I want to put everything out there. Okay, the instrument is your W-2. Instrument is your W-2. So, you definitely will have to acquire this. If you do your 1099A, this is what you're doing. So you need a certificated deed on that. You're going to need an assignment deed. So when you write them back and give them everything, you're going to send that to them. Now, I know I got little bits and pieces that are missing here, but in order to get the full thing, yes, you will have to book that appointment with me to get this stuff done correctly. I'm working on a couple individuals' taxes right now, and I got to do the same exact stuff. Okay? Which I do not do taxes for anybody. I'm just make this very clear to every last one of y'all, because they misheard me. I told them I would do it for them. Teach them how to do it. That's what I'll do for them. Teach them. That's why I said I'll get them on the phone, and then I'll teach them how to do it. Okay? Yes, I'll be online filling things out for them, but I'm still not doing it actually for them. They would do it and send it in. Okay? That's what I mean. All right? So, with that being said, kings and queens, if you use this information to get free, do not blame me. Blame the L, the O, the R, the D. Want to do it? Oh, yes, you do it. So what you do is get this knowledge and start to pursue it. Of King Stevian, representing the 100 kings and the 100 queens. I am out. But before I get out, before I mash out, don't forget, members, the silver certificates are $75. The gold certificates for people that are not members are $200. Definitely. Golden went sky high. Okay? No longer $125, they're $200. Okay. If you are not a member of the channel or the university, then the silver certificates are 100. Okay. All right. I'm out, y'all. Peace.